When I heard Bo Peep was going to be a main character, I was kind of surprised.
Oh, Bo.
What are we gonna do? She's porcelain, she's very limited in her movements.
I wanted to thank you, Woody, for saving my flock.
How are you gonna make that character work?
Well, I figured they were gonna have to take her off her pedestal.
She's sort of this strange, unexplained toy object, and while that was really challenging to figure out what to do with her and what her story was, it also gave her a bigger space to grow in. Everyone seems to think that already existing characters are so much easier to work on. And in a sense, you're like, well, yeah, you know who their voice is, and you've already cemented some of their personality. But it's hard because you're kind of boxed in as well.
It was a combination of wanting to honor what had come before and also creating something new.
First thing we did is we went back and we looked at classic Bo.
We actually met with the creator of the old model, Galen.
I modeled Bo Peep in the first
Oh,
movie.
you did?
Yeah. So Bo was created around 1992, 1993. Computers were much more limited than they are now. Most things were done using mathematics.
I think the old model was amazing for the time they built it. I was so impressed. And Galen actually said, start over, please.
One of the things that I really enjoyed about Bo was she always felt porcelain, and as a result, she always felt very reserved. And I loved that dichotomy against the sassy personality that she reflected, and I think that Annie Potts really brought to Bo Peep always.
Don't let it get to you, Woody.
The point of playing a porcelain doll is she's not something that just sits bedside to serve.
Woody's always trying to do right by his kid.
She's much more multi-dimensional than that, and there's a lot to her.
We really dived into exploring her as a character. We experimented with her personality and her character traits, always in service to what the story needed.
There were so many versions of Bo because the story changed a lot. She was like Rosie the Riveter. She was helping other characters. She was a collector's doll with a fancy dress. She was a space girl with a spacesuit, fighting.
We would draw little sequences and pitch them. She's spinning uncontrollably and falls to the ground.
She became more of an action heroine type of character, and we spent a long time asking ourselves what that means for a character like Bo.
She would either sway very classical Hollywood, everything focused on her appearance, to very active and tough and fighting, and we didn't really want either one of those things.
What if she was just feminine and she was really graceful and she was kind of comfortable in her own skin?
Hold on!
Still really tough and could kick a lot of butt. What would that look like?
Anytime we take a character and we bring it forward in time, it's exciting because you get to take advantage of all the new technology.
We know she's made out of porcelain, and when porcelain figures got created in the fire process, all the nice hard details and edges got lost and smoothed out. That actually came into Bo's design. She has barely nose holes, her shapes are really smooth, her fingers are melting into each other.
For shading, the hardest thing about Bo overall was finding the amount of wear that she developed through her life of being outside of a kid's room. She's been through some stuff.
Life, beats us up in kind of a good way, softens us up a little bit, and you get some wisdom.
Some of the other exploration we did was we took porcelain and we broke it.
Follow me.
She's been through a lot, and she embraces those things. She's like, my arm's broken. Well, that's how it is.
She's gone through a tremendous transformation, even in the way she dresses.
She used all the same pieces, but we wanted to make her feel a little more fun. She is a toy, but she changed herself into a toy that could be more. She took her dress and she turned it into a skirt that could be two different skirts or a cape.
And it kind of represents that Bo is able to adapt to whatever situation she's in.
In this movie, she's much more active and more agile, and she's pretty cool.
We looked at gymnasts, we looked at dancers, we looked at figure skaters, people that have power in their physique, power in their posture, yet grace and beauty and this underlying smoothness to their movement.
One of the big things about the story is she has agency. She decides what she wants to do, where she wants to go, what kids to play with. She's not simply carried around by her kid and not really have any control over her life.
To me, her character really started to embrace the story of a woman's life. Like, I couldn't help but put myself into her character and all the challenges she has faced.
It was really cool that there were so many different women working on Bo, from story to modeling to animation.
When I think about who we were as women in an industry that was really predominantly male in the 90s, we were always very aware of that and trying to find our way and trying to find our voice. We had some reserve with a lot of sass that couldn't necessarily be expressed. And it's kind of exciting to see that Bo Peep's going to get a full voice, much like the women who work here now have and are working toward. And it's very exciting to see that reflected in the character of Bo Peep.
You would not believe the things I've seen.
She's a woman for the new times. She's flexible, she's fierce, she's funny,
Their little girl grew up and didn't need me anymore, so...
and nobody's gonna mess with her.